final game of the big three, number 20 Ole Miss, 7.5-point favorites at number 22 Tulane. They're going to the Big Easy, 2:30 p.m. kick on ESPN. You can flip between this and the A&M Miami game. I think you'll have a pretty fun afternoon. Guys, the over-under when we bet it was at 65, and we all unanimously took the over in this. The points are going to be flowing in this game, probably like the libations are in New Orleans. I'm expecting all the offense here. Trey Harris had himself a week last week for Ole Miss, 6 catches, 133 yards, 4 touchdowns. Michael Pratt had a very efficient week, almost as efficient of a week as you can have. 14 of 15, 294 yards, and 4 touchdowns against South Alabama. Jackson Dart didn't do bad as well. 4 touchdowns for the Rebs. For me, guys, this comes down to the defense. And I was down on Tulane last week. I'll admit that. I whiffed on South Alabama. But Tulane's ability, despite losing several key playmakers, to rally to the football and to force not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 turnovers against South Alabama, a veteran team that was not supposed to be shaken in the moment, is a big sign of success for me. I might have been slow to the party, but I will absolutely say that Michael Pratt is one of the best quarterbacks at the G5 level. Ole Miss has not been known for defense over the last few years. They've made some improvements through the transfer portal, but going on the road is very different than playing in the SIP. Give me Tulane plus the 7 and the hook. I think they keep this very, very close, and there are a lot of folks saying that Tulane can pull this upset outright. I don't know that I'm going to say that on this show, but I do think the Green Wave will keep this interesting.
It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere in New Orleans. If you haven't seen already, the tickets are sold out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Ole Miss fans there as well. But Tulane, when they're winning, they pack that stadium, and they have a fantastic atmosphere down there in the heart of New Orleans. And listen, if you've listened to this show for any amount of time, you know I'm not going to pick Lane Kiffin in a big spot. You know that I'm not going to give him any love that he doesn't deserve. If he so wants just all the attention and all the love, I'm not going to give him any. And I know that Ole Miss has the better athletes. I know that the odds say that they'll probably pull away late, but I think Tulane has a fantastic chance to cover. And like you said, Mitch, not just cover, but maybe even win this game. It's going to be a fascinating matchup, though, because you think back to the Cotton Bowl last year with Tulane taking down USC, just a miraculous comeback there at the end. A lot of things had to go their way for them to come out on top in that game. 2 very different teams that they are going to have to figure out how to take on. The giant that they slayed back in January was a pass-first team that was, score quick, strike fast, big arm quarterback with Caleb Williams, lots of talented receivers moving really quickly. Ole Miss is going to go quick too, but they want to hit you on the ground with Quinshon Judkins. That is their bread and butter. Jackson Dart, I know he had fantastic stats against who cares, private school FCS team last week, but he's not the guy that they want to have the game on his shoulders when it comes down to it. They want to give it to Quinshon Judkins. They want him to run for a ton of yards. And they want him to have about 4 touchdowns by the end of the day. So it's going to be fascinating to see how Tulane handles that. And, the matchup we highlighted here, Tulane front 7 versus not just Quinshon Judkins, but a Power 5 SEC offensive line that wants to run the ball right down their throats. I'm fascinated to see how they hold up against that, because against USC, they were kind of able to control the ground game. They gave it to Tyjae Spears, and USC really didn't have an answer for that. So Tulane could take the air out of the ball just a little bit, control the clock a little bit more, and, keep USC's offense off the field by running the football. That's not really going to be the case in this one. Ole Miss is going to be able to do that pretty well, I think. It could be another game that goes by really, really quickly, like we were talking about with Texas and Alabama, as both teams just kind of try to bludgeon each other on the ground. But I really think Tulane has a chance to hold up against that. They're a really good G5 team. They went to a New Year's Six Bowl for a reason, and there's a reason that they're favored to go back to a New Year's Six Bowl again this year. Tons of talent. I think they might even have the quarterback edge too. So if it comes down to it, Michael Pratt, game on the line, might like him a little bit more than Jackson Dart. I don't know for sure, but I think that I'm confident enough to say Tulane keeps it close.
Yeah, guys, you guys are making a lot of sense. I picked Tulane plus 7.5 as well, just to say, they'll keep it close. I felt like I was kind of hedging my bet with that one. And then I looked at that, nice, crisp, blue home field shirt in my background with that green wave mascot on it. I'm going to go ahead and call the upset. Okay, I'm going to say Tulane is going to upset Ole Miss at home for a variety of reasons. First off, they have the QB edge. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Michael Pratt is a better quarterback than Jackson Dart, and I think he's going to prove it in this game. He's experienced. He's been there. He's been in the limelight. And Jackson Dart, he's played a little bit, but he's been so up and down that I don't know which version of him I'm going to get. On the road, loud crowd, stakes, maybe trailing at a certain point in this game. I don't know that I trust Jackson Dart long term. Combine that with the fact that, guys, we're talking about Quinshon Judkins and him being able to get his against that front seven. Guys, South Alabama rushed the ball 32 times for 75 yards. That's good for 2.3 per rush last week. Now, I know Quinshon Judkins is way better than anything that South Alabama was putting on the field. Don't get me wrong. He's a very talented back, and he will get his. I don't think he'll get enough to keep up with the Tulane offense. I was really impressed by some of the playmakers I saw last week for Tulane. I was really impressed with their ability to pass it and kind of spread the ball around last week. And at the end of the day, I think what it really comes down to is this game means so much to Tulane. It's a school in the South. They have those big brands that they constantly have to say they're the little school, they're the little guy down there, rinky-dink team, and they're not one of the big boys in the SEC or anything like that. They have to hear that, and I think it just means more to them. I think it means more to the Tulane Green Wave. So give me Tulane to win this one outright. I'm going to pick the upset again this week, and we're going to go with Tulane to win this one.
I hope you're right. I think that would be great.
How fun would that be?
It would be a lot of fun. It would.
I'm going with my heart on this one.
Okay, Bourbon Street would drown in the celebration. And listen, I think we would like to see that over on Twitter. Let us know. Do you think Tulane can pull off the upset? 7.5 at home. Not a huge number. We're all on the Green Wave to cover. Hopefully, that's an entertaining game.
Gracious, how